Good morning and welcome to today's meeting of the Public Facilities Commission. I'm Catherine Craven, Chair, joined by Larry Mamoli, Commissioner. I'm going to turn it over to TT Lee.
Thank you, Chair Craven. Good morning, Commissioners. This meeting is being recorded and broadcast live. Before we get started, I've asked Colleen Daly, the PFC Secretary, to take a roll call of the meeting participants. Colleen, if you would please conduct the roll call.
Thank you, TT. Please unmute your device and confirm your presence when I call your name. Beginning roll call with the Commission. Catherine Craven, Chair.
Present.
Larry Mamoli, Commissioner.
Present.
TT Lee, Legal Advisor.
Present.
Catherine Pendleton, Article Clerk.
Present.
And with PFD, Carrie Griffin, Director.
Present.
Ellen Gizanek, Project Manager 2.
Present.
Alistair Lux, Project Manager 2.
Present.
I'll read for the record the remainder of the individuals in attendance. Attendees do not need to unmute their device when I call your name. Elizabeth Feltner, Paralegal. Lisa Guscott, Assistant Director for Construction. Dana DiMatteo, Assistant Director for Operations. And Evan Brinkman, Assistant Director for Operations and Design. And this concludes roll call. Thank you.
Thank you, Colleen. The first order of business before you this morning concerns draft meeting minutes for the Public Facilities Department and the Mayor's Office of Housing from the prior meetings which took place on March 15, 2023. Is there a motion to approve these meeting minutes?
Motion to approve.
Seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you. The meeting minutes are hereby approved. This morning with the Public Facilities Department, we have Carrie Griffin, Director of PFD. PFD has 4 vote requests on the agenda for today. Vote number 1 is being presented by Carrie Griffin. This is a request for amendment to the prior certificate of authority to include Carlton Jones, PFD's new Deputy Director, as an authorized signatory for the stated purposes noted therein on behalf of the public facilities. Carrie, if you would please present vote number 1, please.
Thank you, TT, and good morning. So we appointed Carlton Jones, the previous Assistant Director of Operations, to the Deputy Director's position. This is a new position within the department, and we are thrilled and excited to have Carlton in this leadership role. Thank you, TT.
Motion to approve certificate of authority.
Seconded. And congratulations to Carlton. All those in favor? Aye. The ayes have it.
Thank you. Vote number 1 is hereby approved. Vote number 2 and 3 are being presented by Ellen Gizanek, Project Manager 2 with PFD. I'd like to call to your attention, Commissioners, that votes 2 and 3 are both requests for amendments of the vote of January 18, 2023 to amend the consultant contracts for the 2021 Massachusetts School Building Authority's Accelerated Repairs Program at 4 Boston Public Schools projects located in Roxbury and Dorchester, managed by PFD. As a result, there is a request of the Commission to allow the Project Manager to present votes 2 and 3 jointly with a separate roll call for each vote thereafter. Would that be agreeable to the Commission?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Vote number 2 is a requested amended contract with Answer Advisory Management LLC to provide owner project manager services associated with the projects. This request is for an increase of $544,487 to the contract amount and time extension of the contract duration through March 20th, 2025. Vote number 3 is a requested amended contract with Habib and Associates Incorporated to provide design and construction administration services associated with the projects. This request is for an increase of $1,178,106 to the contract amount and time extension to the contract duration through March 20, 2025. Ellen, if you would please present your vote request.
Good morning, Commissioner. So I'm here to request the amendment vote for approval to continue professional design services contract for Stephen Habib Associates and the owner project management services for Answer Advisory for the 2021 Accelerated Repair Program projects at the following 4 schools. Catherine, I don't know if you have the visuals. You don't need to have it if it's too much, but so we have the Boston Day and Evening Academy, as well as the Rafael Hernandez K-8 School, both in Roxbury, Mass. And then the William Anderson Upper School and the William Russell Elementary School, both in Dorchester, Mass. So the reason for the amendment today is that we originally went before the PFC on April 15, 2022, when the PFC approved the consultant's contracts for feasibility through schematic for the 4 projects. The initial contract for the consultants team was funded through the schematic design, which concluded in December 2022. And on December 21st, 2022, the MSBA board voted to authorize the execution of the project funding agreement in the amount of $22,580,546 for the ARP program. The timing of the City Council vote did not occur until February, which created the 2 months gap in available funding for the consultants team. So in order to prevent this stoppage of work, PFD presented a AVR before the PFC at the January 2023 meeting. The funding from the original appropriation was directed to the consultant's contract in order to continue with the design, while the city worked with the City Council to appropriate the balance of the funds to support the final stages of design through project closeouts. So now with the City Council vote in hand, PFD is requesting the PFC vote to approve $1,178,106 for Abib Architects contract, which includes $1,059,636 for basic services and $118,470 for additional services for destructive testing and hazardous material testing. PFD also requests the PFC vote to approve $544,487 for Enzer Advisory contract, which includes basic services for the continued overseeing of scheduling, cost estimating, site coordination, and managing of designs through the project closeouts. So these votes will allow the consultants team to continue to provide architectural and OPM services in accordance with their contract on the 2021 ARP projects through March 20th of 2025. So in conclusion, I'm seeking the Public Facilities Commission's approval to continue those services for Aviv Associates and the OPM services for Enzer Advisory. I'm here to answer any questions you may have and wanted to thank you for your time.
Any questions?
No questions. Motion to approve vote number 2.
Seconded. All in favor of approval of
Aye.
vote number 2, say aye. Thank you. The ayes have it.
Motion to approve vote number 3.
All those in favor? I seconded that. Aye. The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you. Vote number 2 and vote number 3 are hereby approved. The final vote on today's agenda is vote number 4, is being presented by Alistair Lux, Project Manager 2 with PFD. Vote number 4 concerns recommended contract awards to various designers and consultants to provide house doctor consulting services for various city facilities, projects, and/or sites. These services will be performed on an as-needed basis from July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2028. The contract awards are identified on the agenda and included in the supporting documents. The agenda identifies that there's a recommended contract price of a not to exceed of $5 million for each individual general architectural contract award for this 5-year period. The agenda and the supporting documents also know that there's a recommended contract price of a not to exceed for $3 million for a 5-year period for the following disciplines: surveying and mapping services, structural engineering, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, fire protection engineering, commissioning agent, green building sustainability, energy efficiency, environmental engineering and testing, building code consulting, building forensic investigation testing services, and claim review, risk analysis, and contract negotiations and recommendations. The following firms originally included on the published agenda, but are being tabled and excluded from today's votes are as follows. Surveying and mapping services will exclude BSC Group Incorporated. Structural engineering will exclude GEI Designers of Massachusetts Incorporated. Environmental engineering and testing will exclude GEI Designers of Massachusetts Incorporated, Partners Assessment Corporation doing business as Partners Engineering and Science Incorporated, and finally Weston and Sampson Engineers. Alistair, if you please present your vote request.
Sure. Good morning, Commissioners. The following information provides an overview of the fiscal year 2024 through fiscal year 2028 House Doctor Consulting Services Project, which is being brought before you for a vote of approval to award design services contracts to multiple firms in the categories that TT previously mentioned and that are also listed under vote 4. The city publicly advertised for professional design services through a request for qualifications process pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 7C. The advertisement was submitted to the city's small local business enterprise office for distribution and notice on its listserv, and for publication in the City Record and the Boston Globe on January 2nd, 2023. Additionally, the advertisement appeared in the Massachusetts Secretary of State's Central Register weekly posting on January 4th, 2023. The scope of services were detailed in the request for qualifications, and the disciplines include all of the categories TT previously mentioned and that are also listed under vote 4. The term for the fiscal year 24 through fiscal year 28 House Doctor Consulting Services contracts is from July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2028. In response to the RFQ, 28 firms submitted statements of qualifications for Category 1 architecture of the project by the SOQ due date of February 15th, 2023. And 26 firms submitted SOQs for the remaining aforementioned categories of the project by the same SOQ date of February 15th, 2023. The aforementioned proposals were reviewed and discussed by a designer selection committee consisting of 3 staff members from the Public Facilities Department on March 16th, 2023 and March 24th, 2023. Thereafter, each member evaluated and rated the SOQs using the evaluation criteria stated in the published RFQ. Next, the rankings were tallied by the designer selection administrator, and the firms were shortlisted and ranked in order of appropriateness for the project on March 24th, 2023. The rankings were based on qualifications and experience with planning and programming studies, as well as design of public and energy efficient building projects in Massachusetts and other urban historic environments. The Designer Selection Committee recommended 23 firms for Category 1 architecture and 18 firms for the remaining aforementioned categories. And just to clarify, those are categories 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, and 12 for the fiscal year 24 through fiscal year 28 House Doctor Consulting Services contract to the Director of the Public Facilities Department. As a result of each firm's overall qualifications and experience with design and/or construction administration services. TT has requested that I read aloud each of the firms recommended for a design service contract for the record. For Category 1, Architecture, Annam Architects, Cambridge 7 Architects, CGKV Architects, ESS Architects, DHK Architects, Fenwick McCready Architecture, Garofalo Design Associates, Gensler, Jones Architecture, Castle Booz Associates, Machado and Silvetti Associates, Mott's Collaborative Architects, Merge Architects, Mount Vernon Group Architects, Nada, Over Under, Perkins and Will Architects, Somm Architecture, Schwartz Silver Architects, Studio NA, Tolukian, Util, and Westwork. For Category 3, Survey and Mapping Services, Niche Engineering. For Category 4, Structural Engineering, Boston Building Consultants Incorporated, Gale Associates, and Risk Frost Shumway Engineering. For Category 5, Mechanical, Electrical, Plumbing, and Fire Protection, BLW Engineers, Fitzmyer and Tochi Associates, Robert W. Sullivan, Rick Frost Shumway Engineers, Weston and Sampson Engineering. For Category 6, Commissioning Agent, Fitzmyer and Tochi Associates, Robert W. Sullivan, Rick Frost Shumway Engineering. For Category 7, Green Building, Sustainability and Energy Efficiency, Mott's Collaborative Architects, and Weston and Sampson Engineers. For Category 8, Environmental Engineering and Testing, TRC Engineering. For Category 9, Building Code Consulting, Robert W. Sullivan Incorporated. Category 11, Building Forensic Investigation and Testing Services, Gale Associates. And for Category 12, Claims Review, Risk Analysis, and Contract Negotiations, PMA Consultants, LLC. No interviews were conducted, and the proposed contract prices are as follows. For Category 1, General Architecture, a $5 million maximum amount per contract for a 5-year period. For the remaining aforementioned categories, a $3 million maximum amount per contract for a 5-year period. Thus, I'm seeking the Public Facilities Commission approval to award House Doctor Consulting Services contracts for the attached list of firms as stated above. I look forward to discussing and answering any questions you may have, and thank you for your time and review of this important matter.
Thank you. Any questions, Commissioner Mamoli?
No questions. Motion to approve?
Seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's approved, thank you.
Thank you. Vote number 4 is hereby approved. This concludes PFD's agenda for today's meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn this portion of the meeting?
Motion to adjourn?
Seconded, all in favor? Adjourned.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. This portion of the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. We're going to take a 5-minute break and then